As some of you may have surmised by now, this has been a long day. It's also, though, been a day that I believe we will look back on and say that day we made substantial progress for equality in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
I want to thank, first of all, Representative Al McCaffrey for being here this evening. Representative McCaffrey has been and continues to be a strong supporter of what we are doing in terms of educating the public as to the need for something that seems as simple as including sexual orientation in the city's hiring policy. You and I know that that's not something that's so simple, and it's not a small task. It's 2 words, but it amounts to much more than that. It amounts to recognizing the accomplishments of gay men and lesbians in our city. It recognizes the need to provide equality for everyone. No one should be turned away from a job or denied a raise or a promotion. No one should be terminated from a job because of who they love. I will never believe that bias or discrimination in any form are values that we treasure in Oklahoma. Instead, I believe that we truly are on our way to becoming a major league city. We hear that a great deal from city government, from business leaders. Well, now it's time, and we have an opportunity to demonstrate that we really can walk the walk, that we will be in line with other cities around the country who have said, the federal government won't do it, if our state won't do it, we will do it. We will protect the rights of our citizens. In Oklahoma City, we estimate that there are approximately 60,000 lesbians and gay men. In the state of Oklahoma, that number is 365,000. That's a lot of people. Not one of them deserves to be discriminated against based on their sexual orientation. It's one thing for me to say this. I do this every day. I'm passionate about it, and I get paid to do it. And that's no small combination. Every day, all day. Where it has a resounding impact is when someone who is not gay looks at the landscape and says, that's not right. I am ready to take a step and make things better for everyone.
Right.
It's my pleasure, my privilege, and my honor this evening to introduce someone who, quite frankly, 2 weeks ago I had never met, but in a very short period of time, is someone I have come to call my friend. Friend personally, but truly a friend to all of those who believe basic principles, equality, justice. He's the reason we're here tonight. He supported us this morning at the City Council. Now it's our turn to support Councilman Hitch.
Yeah!
You know, I think we're going to win. I think on November 15th, this is going to come back. It was deferred for 3 weeks to allow some discussion with the personnel department and the legal department is going to come back on November 15th. I think we're going to secure passage. And finally, we will have protections at the city level for our 4,300 employees. But I think maybe even more important is the education aspect. It's the fact that people talk about it. And I hope people are talking about it at the kitchen table tonight. And that's really, I think, what we can all do, is to spread the word throughout the community. Did you know that there are 360,000 gay and lesbian Oklahomans and 60,000 in the Oklahoma City metro area? Did you know that there weren't federal protections or state protections? 9 out of 10 Americans don't know that. If you ask them, 9 out of 10 Americans will say that there are protections against sexual orientation employment discrimination, but there simply aren't. So if we just get that talked about at the dinner table, did you know that there's this large group of the population that is completely unprotected, that somebody could hire someone or fire someone for that reason alone and there would be no recourse? they would just have to move on, whether they did their job well or not. Did you know that 170 municipalities across the country have done this already, and that there's a movement that is spreading across the country? Did you know that there's 337 large companies employing 8.3 million employees who have done this? Now, many of them are extending that even farther and extending that into health insurance benefits. We're not even talking about, we're just talking about hiring and firing, just the employment. What goes into your decision making and whether you hire or fire someone. That's all we're talking about today at the city level. That's good for, it's a human rights issue, it's a business issue. But why are large businesses in droves making these changes in policy? Because it's good business. Because we know how communities work together. And people feel safe, and we have studies. The UCLA College of Law in 2001 looked at gay and lesbian employees, and when they were able to come out of work and express freely, productivity increases, mental and physical health improves, and not just of that employee, but of their co-workers. And so the whole unit gets happier and healthier and more productive. And so it is, I love these signs, diversity means business. It is good, it is a good business decision to make these changes and to protect everyone. And it's good government. And I think it's going to pass. It's all number two. Realize, I mean, even, it's progress, not perfection. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, would this not have been just dismissed out of hand? But we're having a discussion about it, and it looks likely that it's going to pass. I mean, that's progress, and it's very encouraging. I spoke with Victor many times, sad about the Human Rights Commission disappearing in 1996. That was almost exclusively because a group of 5 city councilors decided that they didn't want to hear claims based on sexual orientation. And because of that, they got rid of this whole organization, which was hearing a lot of cases with very small staff and doing good things. And they just got rid of the whole thing for that reason. So there is a sad history. There is now a time for healing and repairing some of those wounds, and for moving forward as a city, all of us together, all of us equal, and everyone being protected. Thank you for coming out.
I look at the folks who are represented here this evening: Church of the Open Arms, Unitarian Church, Cathedral of Hope. When I look at the business folks that we have here this evening, and one of the things that excites me the most is, as I look at this group, half of them are straight friends of justice and equality. In leaving tonight, it's critical that we don't take today's excitement, that we don't take the promise of good things to come and leave it right here. It's incumbent upon each one of us to reach out to our councilpersons, for us to call our family members, our parents, our children, our neighbors, and have them do the same thing. Because it's not going to be an easy thing these next 3 weeks. You know that as sure as we're gathered here, there are other people gathered in other portions of the city to say, no, we're not going to happen. It's time for us to say, yes, we are, because we deserve it. I am so grateful because of all of you, for your support and your encouragement. It makes what we do at Cimmarron Alliance that much more important. A day like today is not a draining day. It's a day that really vitalizes energy and the spirit of a community that extends way beyond the LGBT. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Most of all, Councilman Clark. Yo! I would, since there are so many of us here, I would like to get a couple of photos of us all grouped together.
Get up here, boy.
Yeah, we have to.
Look good.